Verse 20 says, Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. Mary was sitting in the house. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you would have been here, my brother would have not died. But even now I know that whatever you ask God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. This conversation fascinates me. Martha says, I know he'll rise again in the resurrection in the last day. How many of you understand Jesus wasn't teaching a theological lesson here? He was trying to ignite her heart in hope that her son would live now. Jesus says, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, there's the belief again. He who believes in, though he dies, he may live. It's such a bizarre story. You know it from this point on, at least many of you will, that Jesus, he weeps in the Kenneth Wuest translation. It basically describes Jesus as just sobbing, just convulsing in tears over this moment because of his love, because of the surroundings, the attitudes of the people. And he sobs, and then he goes over and he calls Lazarus, commands him to rise from the dead. I'm sure you've heard the illustration where people said he had to call out Lazarus or every dead person in that side of the mountain would have got up. It's probably true. But here's the last part that I want you to see. There's two things that strike me here. Verse 38 says, Jesus, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. We live in such a comfort-oriented culture that burden in prayer, grief over issues is stuff that we avoid at all cost. And yet there are times where to get breakthrough, you actually have to feel the pain of the moment and contend for the breakthrough. It doesn't come just because you wave the Holy Spirit magic wand and something happens. It's actually the fact that we carry the weight of something. We're not the Redeemer, we're not the mediators, we're not any of that, but we co-labor with the Lord. And there are times where there are tears, and it's not tears of mourning, it's not tears of depression. It's the weightiness of a need that is in front of us that we are unwilling to take no for an answer. We're not trying to persuade God. There's a struggle of life and death over a given situation. And sometimes the breakthrough only comes to those who are willing to enter the groaning, if you will. Jesus, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. It was a cave. A stone lay against it. He said, take away this stone. Martha, the sister of him who was dead, said, Lord, by this time there's a stench. He's been dead 4 days. Jesus said to her, did I not say to you, if you would believe, you'd see the glory of God? Now here's what I want, one of the last 2 points I want to try to make and throw out to you. This statement, how many of you understand that when Jesus would make comments in dialogue, in conversation with individuals, sometimes he would speak something that was very specifically to their situation, and sometimes he would speak this incredibly profound and broad message that went way beyond the immediate context. Do you understand what I'm saying? He would do that often. He would just do it often. He would just out of nowhere would start talking about the last days, and yet he's answering a specific question because he was dealing with a broader subject. He does that here. What is the ambition of the Lord? Just think about it. From day one, Adam and Eve are created. They're in perfect harmony, perfect peace with God. They have been assigned to be co-laborers to represent him in managing planet Earth. Their whole issue is to be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, to take over the parts of the planet that have been covered in darkness because of demonic oppression. The garden itself is perfect harmony, perfect peace. And they're to use their relationship with God to extend the boundaries of the garden, all right? So here we've got this mandate that has been given to Adam and Eve. They sin. As soon as they sin, that sense of peace and presence that so filled the garden where Adam and Eve would walk with God in the cool of the evening, that suddenly is gone. That glory atmosphere that was the atmosphere they were designed for is now vanished. Remember, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory. What does that tell us? It tells us you were designed to live in the glory.